Hey everyone, it's Camber here with the Yo Pro No. I am sitting here today with Abbey Griffith, 24, almost 25-year-old owner of Clarity Fitness in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey Abby, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And I guess by the time your interview goes out, you will be 25, so happy almost birthday.
Thank you.
Um, and I always like to start off the interview by sharing how we were connected because that's one of the key components of the Yo Pro No. And so Nick Miller connected us. Nick was actually one of my very first interviews ever, like almost 3 years ago. Nick and I are friends from college. And so Abby and Nick know each other. And so I just always like sharing that connection.
Awesome. Perfect.
So, Abby, why don't we go ahead and get started by just sharing a brief background on yourself? So, talk, high level, where you're from, what you're currently doing, and then we'll stop there and kind of dive into the actual details of your career path up to this point.
Perfect. Sounds good. So I'm Abby. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and went to school at University of Miami down in Florida. I landed in the middle in Atlanta, Georgia. I liked the big city energy of Miami and liked the weather a little bit colder. So Atlanta was a good land. And then it also was a really, really great place for the business venture that I wanted to start. So we started Clarity Fitness in 2020, January 6th. And then COVID happened, the phrase of the year this year.
Yeah, for real.
And
Awesome.
that's pretty much the intro.
Okay, cool. Thank you for being, that was very concise.
Thanks.
Okay, so one, I feel like I know so many people from Ohio that just are transplants down south. Like I feel like I turn every corner and it's like somebody's from Ohio or Pennsylvania. Like I just think so. Anyways, you're not alone. I feel like there's a lot of you down here in the South because I'm obviously in the South as well. And so I like how you said you like found your place in the middle and you described why you moved to Atlanta. So thank you for doing that. Tell me about what you did immediately after college. Like was it immediately after graduation you set out this business venture or did something else happen?
Definitely. So right after college, it was moving to Atlanta. My senior year in industrial engineering down at Miami, I did my senior projects basically on opening this gym. So we had to work with a business or some type of corporation company in some way. And we chose the University of Miami fitness facility and really worked with them to figure out how they could save time and money and better optimize where their equipment was, work on how to optimize their classes and bring more people in. And we presented out on how we proposed helping them, as well as took what worked from their business plan and put it into mine with their permission, of course. So it was basically a dual project, and presenting out on the Clarity Fitness business plan went really well. We presented to the mayor of Miami and the head of the industrial engineering school down there. So it was really well received. And I felt like I really had the next steps in place from that planning process. So when I got down to Atlanta, it was time to hit the ground running. We signed the lease for this space actually about a year before we opened. So build out was a nightmare, but we started that in January of 2019. Built it out for a year. It was a massive build out. We gutted the whole space and just completely flipped it. It's a really high end boutique style facility. So we were definitely going for the attention to detail and really clean and modern. Mm-hmm. And that was what we started into right when I got here, worked on the business plan some more. And then 2020 was the grand opening.
Awesome. So obviously there was so much that went into it beforehand. So were you making money at that time when you were planning this?
Definitely.
Okay. So how did you sustain yourself?
Yeah. So my family, I have a ton of entrepreneurs in my immediate family. So they have been so supportive, and their goal was to use their profits that they had made from their ventures and put them into mine. And I will definitely be paying that back in time, but still working on that right now, and just super grateful for the family to help me out.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, that's wonderful. And I think it's important to ask, entrepreneurs how they got their start financially, because that's obviously really important. And so almost a year and a half later, are you profitable now?
Not yet.
Not
Still,
yet. Okay.
still having an adventure with that. We actually just such an adventure. We definitely just got going with a consulting company that I'm really excited about. So we found this business that's specifically for fitness marketing and sales consulting, and they have just blown it away in terms of different processes in place. I feel like we really have an idea of how to get leads and how to do something with the leads and how to ultimately get them to build up what they are getting involved in with the business. So getting into memberships, and then we're upselling personal training. And that's been really awesome to figure out more of a flow for that. It was conceptually there, but now we have an actual set of things that need to happen. And that's been a game changer for sure.
Yeah, very cool. Can you walk us through, you keep mentioning we, who is your team, and tell us about that, because you're the owner. So how does that look? Like, what's the team dynamic?
Definitely. We have an amazing team right now. I'm the sole owner, but mom is the major investor and major supporter of the business. So she is basically a consultant for us too. And her business partner, Stacy, they have a law firm together. So that's been amazing. And then which is also free legal support, helps a ton.
That's been nice. Yeah. You got to get the freebies while you where you can
work your network. So that was good. And then we have an amazing team here in the facility. We've got 3 amazing managers. We have about 4 amazing personal trainers that double as group exercise and front desk and sales, and everyone's taking a lot of hats right now. We have a sales specific representative. We have some training specific people. So it's a team of all of us figuring this out together, and definitely company culture was a massive thing for me. So that's been really important to keep the morale up and keep everything flowing and working together and really building as a team instead of us steering the ship and everyone just falls in line. That's not how we want it to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I think that for many startup companies, you have to, and just businesses, you have to wear a lot of hats at the beginning. So I think, and that's not just the case for startups and small businesses. It's really for a lot of companies and a lot of experiences. So for people listening, it doesn't matter if you're not an entrepreneur, you're going to probably experience this in some way, especially at the beginning of your career. So I think that's a really good point to highlight. Okay, turning it over to one of the most common questions that I ask, which, we prepared for a little bit. What is a hardship that you have faced? I'm willing to bet you've definitely had some, especially as an owner, the sole owner of a company. So can you talk about that and how you've overcome that, if you have at this point? You're still young.
Definitely. Yeah. So the first one that comes to mind is just how we are different from competition. We are Georgia's first and only body positive gym that has classes, personal training, group exercise. That's a high-end space. We've heard of people that are specifically doing yoga or specifically doing lifting or powerlifting, but this has definitely been a new angle, both in what we stand for and what we believe in and how we're presenting as a business. So that's been really interesting it's been a learning curve to get people to understand where we're coming from. I struggled with an eating disorder for a massive chunk of my life and had no idea for about a decade that I was anorexic because I didn't quote unquote look that way. And so that was the metric that I was going by, just from a lack of education and a lack of community that flagged anything that I was doing. And that is so common in the fitness industry, and unfortunately almost perpetuated by a lot of the things that are in this industry right now. So weight loss challenges and how many steps can you get in, and let's cut calories, and all of these things can be really toxic when they aren't being done in a responsible way, and we're not having other conversations around them. We're not eliminating guilt from the equation. So if somebody comes into the gym and is trying to understand what we do, that's a massive thing to throw at them. So we're trying to help people find a more empowered relationship with wellness without it becoming so heavy and so daunting. We definitely connect well with the eating disorder community and the eating disorder recovery community. And then when it comes to your typical person just looking for a fun gym space, we really want to approach that with an angle of, we just want you to have fun. We want you to figure out what you enjoy. We've got it all here. So we're your one-stop shop, and you can figure out what makes your wellness journey more empowering and exciting for you, instead of it always being something you feel like you have to do or should do. There's none of that going to be felt here, because you're going to actually want to come out and spend time with your fitness family and have a fun movement session. And it's been starting to flow. And then obviously COVID was another massive obstacle that we're still dealing with. So we did so many shifts. We have every other piece of cardio equipment is blocked off. We have saran wrap on the touch points of the cardio equipment that we change out every night. Our cleaning crew is amazing. They come in and really sanitize everything. We've got the social distancing. Masks are required, and I would be wearing one, but my door is closed for this interview. So it's definitely lots of things in place there, and lots of investments to make sure that everything was done as it needed to be, and we were taking care of our team and our members. So that was something that had a big impact on sales as well, and just trying to shift now with this new consulting company and see what we can do differently to keep moving forward.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I know that it's always that's a vulnerable question to ask. And, I know that it's sharing a lot. So thank you. To talk about your hardships, in front of an audience, that's tough. I know that it was very tough for me to do that at the beginning, but it really helps people. And I love to hear, one, everyone had a really tough year, right? But it's probably really hard for you looking back at this point when, you have had to make a lot of shifts that probably have cost you a little bit of money. Like maybe you could be profitable at this point, who knows? But it's just, everyone had to deal with it. And so I can completely understand that. But the other point you brought up, which was like one of the hardships being just clarifying your message and making sure that people understand, what you are like, effectively communicating what you're here for. I think that that's amazing. I don't know many fitness studios that have that kind of angle, because you're right. I mean, you look at Instagram and you look at the web, and it's always like weight challenge, and there's the side-by-side pictures of people like losing a ton of weight. And I know men deal with eating disorders, but I think as women, I have those thoughts in my head. Like, I think we all kind of have something, and that's, doesn't even matter the gender. So kudos to you for doing that. I feel like you were able to very effectively communicate that to me.
Thank you.
And it's so cool to hear all that you've done. I'm guessing that you did this because of your personal experience. Is that like really what kind of led you into this business?
Definitely. I'm super, super passionate about advocating for body positivity from my own story, my own experience, hoping that people of all genders, ages, shapes, sizes don't have to go through what I went through, and helping people that have or are going through that see a different way to look at things. Because there was a point where I just thought that fitness and wellness and food had to consume my life if I wanted to, quote unquote, do it right. And that's so not true. And it's supposed to be a positive part of your day instead of something that sucks the life out of you. So if we can spread that message, and then with body positivity as a whole, that is such a massive social justice issue. Having a good relationship with the skin you're in is a massive undertaking on all of the different intersecting things that make us us, whether it's race, whether it's weight, whether it's age, whether it's body changes, and everything else that goes into your lived experience. It's such a bigger issue than let's like what we see in the mirror. It's not a cute little confidence thing. It's a massive self-worth conversation that everyone deserves to have and everyone deserves to feel empowered by. So that's been so exciting to continue to unveil more about the mission that we're taking on, because the more we learn, the more we're obsessed with what we do. And that definitely keeps the company culture excited and buzzing and really aligned with a passion that means a lot to us.
Right. Well, kudos to you for all that you've done. It sounds like you'll be able to reach a lot of people with this platform. And so, good luck. I do want to I'm mindful of time, so I want to start wrapping up. Let's, kind of take a step outside of the business. What is something that you enjoy about being a young professional outside of the office?
Definitely. I feel like I have a purpose that I don't think I had felt before starting my own business. I feel like I'm so aligned with what I want to be doing, which is in no way, shape, or form to paint this glorified picture that I never have days where I'm tired and don't feel like working, but it's definitely overall, I love what I do. And overall, it's easy to stay excited about the community that we've built and about the people that we're serving, because it is so aligned with what speaks to me as a person and what makes me me and my values and my morals. So I think that being aligned with that, whether you're an entrepreneur yourself or whether you're in a business that really brings that same energy in whatever role you're in, is so important and has really shaped life differently for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And to wrap things up, what is your favorite thing that Clarity does? So, like, is it sharing recipes? Like, is it sharing, certain exercises? Like, what is your one thing that you love doing the most?
Probably our personal training, virtually and in person. So that's where I think we have the most real conversations, where we're really able to step into a relationship with someone and dig in deeper and understand what they're dealing with, whether it's body image or whether it's feeling like they don't feel like they're an athlete enough at whatever stage they're at or whatever ability they have currently. And being able to have those conversations and shift that perspective is something that we do amazingly well online and in person with our personal training. And that's been really, really awesome to just see a community of people that can all bring out those conversations. So I'm so proud of our training staff and so proud of the lives that we've touched and the people that have shifted their approach to wellness because of those conversations.
Awesome. Well, Abby, how can people find you and Clarity, especially if they're, in Atlanta? And I mean, with the virtual side, maybe even if they're not in Atlanta, how can people find you?
Definitely. So the website for the gym itself is clarityfitness.com. That's the in Georgia version. We're in Decatur, which is right outside of Atlanta. And then the virtual side, you can go to Clarity Decatur, and there's a ton of links in our link tree in our bio, or you can go to online.clarityfitness.com. We have a really amazing $15 a month subscription for unlimited on-demand body positive workout videos, and then a really, really awesome mental health platform where we have community groups for runners and moms and body positive community, intuitive eating. We've got a book club. So just the other aspects of wellness that go into your day is all right there.
Yeah, well, I know I will definitely be checking that out. And I will definitely share that with our audience as well. But thank you so much for being on the Yo Pro No, Abby. We really loved having you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.